Welcome back, everyone, to the Wellness Center Creators Podcast. I'm Kendall, and I'm personally inviting you to the 2026 Wellness Center Creators Retreat, a 4-day immersion into restoration, strategy, and next-level growth happening September 22nd through 25th in beautiful Vancouver, Washington. Here's the real magic. You won't just learn, you'll experience. Transformational tools alongside other wellness leaders who get it. Community, clarity, and collaboration all in one place. Pick a track that meets you where you are, whether you're just blooming or ready to grow big and bold, and walk away with actionable systems, strategic coaching, movement sessions, spa experiences, and a game plan for the year ahead. Payment plans are available, and trust me, this is the kind of investment that pays you back tenfold. Head to wellnesscentercreators.com/retreats for all the details, and let's make 2026 the year you lead with clarity, ease, and exponential impact. Before we get into today's episode, I'd like to take a moment to chat about our sponsor, Jane, a clinic management software and EMR. Your evenings and weekends should be spent with loved ones, not chasing down your patients and clients for payment. That's why Jane has designed a secure payment solution that helps reduce the amount of time you spend manually following up with patients. Clients can save their credit card details and insurance policy information securely through your intake form, which can then be conveniently processed after your time together. And if they've got an outstanding balance, you can send a payment request via email or SMS that allows your patients to pay off their balance online from the comfort of their homes. To see how Jane can help you reclaim your after-work hours, head to jane.app to book a personalized demo. Or if you're ready to get started, you can use the code WELLNESS1MO at the time of sign-up for a 1-month grace period applied to your new account. Hi there, and welcome to the Wellness Center Creators Podcast. I'm Kendall Hagenson.
And I'm Anna Rudell. We're thrilled to have you join us on this journey of creating innovative, patient-centered wellness centers.
As experienced health and wellness providers, we've seen firsthand the challenges of delivering comprehensive, holistic care to our patients.
That's why we created this podcast, to share the knowledge, strategies, and insights we've gained from our own experiences and from connecting with experts in the field.
Each episode, we'll dive into a different aspect of building and growing a successful wellness center, from developing a strong multidisciplinary team to implementing cutting-edge technologies and treatment approaches.
We'll also share practical tips, resources, and real-world examples to help you overcome common obstacles and streamline your processes.
Our goal is to empower you with the tools and confidence you need to create a thriving wellness center that truly makes a difference in your patients' lives.
So whether you're just starting out or looking to take your existing practice to the next level, you're in the right place.
Get ready to learn, grow, and be inspired. Let's create something amazing together.
Welcome to the Wellness Center Creators Podcast.
This one's a fun one. I sat down with my husband to talk about what it's really like to be married to a wellness center owner and business owner in general. If your partner or family sometimes struggles to understand the demands of what you do, they might want to listen to this one too. Welcome back to What the Wellness Center. Our question today is, my husband and I have a different approach to money management and risk-taking, and he's concerned that opening a wellness center is too risky. How can I get him on board? Okay, so this is the best question of all time, and my husband and I can completely relate to this. So I asked my dear sweet husband to join us today. This is my husband, Tim. Thanks for being here, honey. And we have very different brains. We have different approaches to money management and risk-taking. This is definitely something we've had to navigate with me opening and growing Vancouver Wellness Studio. So first, welcome, Tim. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. It's so good to be here.
He's nervous. He doesn't love that I'm making him do this. So we do appreciate it, honey. So first, I'd love if you could just share a bit with everyone about your educational and professional background.
Yes. So a little bit of a different background than Kendall. So my education is in engineering, and then I also went back to school and got my MBA. So I've spent most of my career in engineering and operations and like commercial roles in the chemicals industry.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Awesome. Next, I'm really curious what your biggest fear was originally, right? When I came to you and I said, okay, I'm ready to do this, right? You had been hearing me talk about this dream and planning it for years and years and years. So when I came to you, right, in really end of 2015, beginning of 2016, and said, okay, it's time, what was your biggest fear at that point?
Well, I think like overall, it sounded like a great idea, right? Sounded awesome. My biggest fear was, hey, is it going to work out on paper? Like does this add up? Is this going to be a sustainable business model?
Mhm.
And so, yeah, that I think that was my biggest fear going into it.
Yeah, yeah, and I think that's super common, right, with any small business, of course. So, what was the progression point or sort of that moment in time when you started to feel more confident with me moving forward with the business? Or are
Yeah.
you there yet?
But
I said, or are you even there yet? More than
definitely not totally there. I'm well on my way. No, I think where I started to feel like more comfortable with it, starting at the beginning, right? You have this great idea, for the studio and it would help so many people. Um, but until really you got like those first practitioners to sign on, right? Or folks to rent some of the spaces, at the studio there. I think at that point it started to like feel real, right? Like, oh yeah, hey, this does add up and it's gonna cover costs and it's gonna work out. So
Yeah, that what he's referring to is there was a point in beginning of 2016 where I'd been looking for spaces and for providers at the same time. And we started as a collective at Vancouver Wellness Studio with where everyone was their own business and we had an agreement of working together collaboratively. Now we're mostly W-2 employee model, but that was the beginning of how we started. And so coming into 2016, I think before we even had the final location, right? I think I had, at least half the offices rented. And so I think at that point you started to feel just a little more comfortable and realizing that, okay, people do want to do this, right? There are providers who want to join in this. Mhm.
right. And I think the key thing too, right? And then as it progressed, like when the providers came on board and then you see that they're as passionate about it as you are,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? Then it was like, okay, wow, there's, a lot of energy behind this. And, then right? At that point, it's gonna work, right? You
It
guys are
has
gonna
to
find
work.
yeah,
Right.
it has to you're gonna find a way
Don't
to
let
make
it
it.
fail. And I mean, I remember having a discussion together at one point where I think we were on a long road trip and I was typing out, essentially the very first business plan. And you said, okay, if this is going to work, you have to find people who are just as passionate about this as you are. And I said, okay, I will. I'm going to, right? And I did. I did. And that's what we had in the beginning and that's what we have with our team now and it really is important. Mhm. So knowing what you know now, what would you tell yourself 5 years ago, right? When we were first
Yep.
starting?
Yeah. So I think like with my background and what I feel comfortable with, in a spreadsheet is like modeling it out, right? Being able to see on paper, all the costs and the income and everything and seeing it work out. And so I think that gave me some stress at the beginning, right? Because there's a lot of unknowns, like as it got started. And so I think like, if I could talk to myself, a few years ago, I would just say, hey, trust Kendall, right? Like she's amazing, she's passionate and she's not going to let this, business fail, right? She's going to make it work.
Mhm.
She's got a lot of energy around it and stuff. So I think that's the advice I'd give myself a few years ago.
Awesome. Um, okay, so any other advice you would really have for couples who are navigating this wellness center creation journey?
Yeah. Well, I think also with my background, right? I went back to school for business. And so I thought I'd be able to use a lot of that, I think, in supporting your business. And I think over the years, right, I have been able to. Um, but there's a lot, with like, I don't know, learning corporate finance and stuff, it doesn't apply directly, right, to starting a small wellness studio, wellness center, I think there. So I think what's been very beneficial to us over the years, right, is when you've been able to like work with the experts, hire the experts to do certain things,
Right.
right? Whether it's the business coach or things with like your web, marketing and that sort of thing. But also like I think it's very valuable, right, to get advice and guidance from a third party. Sometimes it's, easier to take that advice than if it's coming from your husband,
Exactly.
right? So it is good to have like different impartial folks that can help guide you, I think, in the journey.
Yeah, I love that. It's been really integral to VWS being successful, and I think supporting us as a couple too, moving through it, is having that outside support. So, what would you say is the hardest part, right? What has the hardest part been of me being a small business owner and having this be part of our family and kind of over the years, but also today? Like, what really is the hardest part for you as my partner, right? As my spouse?
Yeah. I mean, I think there's a lot of benefits that come from it, right? I mean, I think we're all like, tied into the center our whole family is, right? And it's a great place to be. But I think also, right, it's one of those things where you can't really turn it off. Because it's your baby, right? The wellness center. And so, sometimes it's hard to turn off, or things come up on the weekend or evenings, or on your days off, right, that you have to deal with. And so I think that's probably the hardest part,
Yeah.
having this thing that you can't really leave alone for too long.
Yeah, it's so integrated. And like Tim's saying, right? It's like we have two actual children, right? So owning a business is not it follows a similar progression and development as a child and having a child. It's obviously completely different from having an actual human child. But it's so integrated into our lives, which is on purpose, right? That's what I wanted, right? We live 5 minutes from the studio. I want my kids to be able to come here and play and know our team and that sort of thing. And I want, our family to be able to utilize services, and that's all on purpose and important. But what Tim's saying is like the reality of being a small business owner, right? You can't just work from 9 to 5 and then not think about the business. And that's just how it is. And so that's important to know going in.
Yeah. And I would just say too, like that became very apparent, right, in the first like year, right, as you're opening up and trying to hit your stride with everything, right? There's a lot of surprises that come up, while you're getting that established. And so obviously, over the years, you've learned a lot and been able to, fix a lot of those things or have them addressed, right, where they're not surprises. So,
Sure. And that's about, putting systems and structures in place, right?
yeah,
Which is easier to do over time. And yeah, don't give up in the first year.
yeah,
Stick it out, stick it out. It gets better. And, having as much as we talk about that a lot in coaching is like as much as we can get those systems and structures in place beforehand, it really does make everything easier. So I think for me, right, Tim, even though you were fearful in the beginning, I always felt supported by you in the process, right? And with me fulfilling the dream, right? So that's extremely important. We have to have someone in our corner, right? It doesn't have to be our spouse, doesn't have to be our partner, but we need someone who's really there supporting us and cheering us on in this process because it is very difficult. And I think as a couple, we often do have to pause and sort of get on the same page when it comes to the business because we know ourselves well, right? As individuals and as a couple, we've been together for a long time. We know our brains work differently. So sometimes we do have to pause and just kind of get on the same page in making some of the business decisions. One of my favorite memories is when you first asked me. I was, starting to look for people, look for spaces. You first asked me for the business plan, and I came to you, and obviously you wanted like numbers on a
right.
and I brought and showed you my physical vision board. And this was a vision, one of my
more original vision boards for this space that I had done in graduate school, and it had like just progressed over time, and so proud of this vision board. And it's just one of my favorite memories because it just displays how different we are, how differently our brains work, and that both are so valuable, right? Because honestly, everything I put on that board has happened or is happening, right? And so I think we complement each other that way, right? So it's about using each other's. And really, I've had to do a lot of work on my own relationship to money and feeling more comfortable in that lane. And so where I'm at today, I definitely feel more empowered with understanding and kind of taking charge of the money side. And you've been, a big part of that too, in sort of pushing me and guiding me along with those things. So my advice to couples navigating this is to first believe each other and believe in each other, right? Like Tim was saying, if he could look back, it would be more about trusting me in the beginning, right? To know like, okay, she's going to figure it out. Building this type of business is totally possible. If I can do it, trust me, you can do it. It just goes more smoothly if you have that support person and you really trust each other and support each other along the way. Secondly, bring in a third party for business decisions sometimes. Like Tim was saying earlier, again, it's so helpful, right? Just to have that outside person give that advice. And sometimes they might come in and say like, oh man, you're on this path, but actually would recommend this path over here. And here's why, right? And that can start to make more sense. And lastly, enjoy it, right? Take time to pause, enjoy the benefits of business ownership and celebrate what you've created. I hope that's helpful to you. I welcome spouses, partners, support people, and one-to-one coaching anytime to help navigate through these situations. Thanks for being here, Tim.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Have a
See you
great
when you
day.
get home.
I'll see you later today, honey.
Okay.
Bye.
Thank you for tuning in to the Wellness Centre Creators podcast. We hope you found this episode informative and valuable.
If you enjoyed the show, please consider subscribing and leaving a rating and review. Your support helps us reach more health and wellness professionals like you.
For additional resources, show notes, and more episodes, visit our website at wellnesscentrecreators.com.
We'd love to connect with you and hear your thoughts, experiences, and questions. Feel free to reach out to us through our website or social media channels.
Once again, thank you for listening. We appreciate your dedication to providing exceptional patient care.
Join us next time as we continue exploring the world of wellness center creation. Until then, take care and keep making a difference.
Thanks for listening to the Wellness Centre Creators podcast.